Hey guys, and welcome back to the girls' room. I am so excited because we are filming on my new setup. So shout out to my family for upgrading the pod. This was a birthday gift. If you didn't hear last week, they all chipped in and got me a new camera so that I don't have to spend 8 hours of my day editing audio. So I got a little mic plugged into there. I'm shooting on my phone for all the little clips for TikTok and Reels and Shorts. And I can't wait to see how this turns out. And this camera makes you look really good. Let me tell you something. The iPhones are so unforgiving. Like, you can see every fucking pore, blood vessel, pumping artery through this fucking screen. And on, like, even on my last camera, which was not meant really for video, like, made me look so much better. And this one does all this like smoothing shit. I turned it off, just to let you know. I turned off the smoothing, and if you saw the difference between my phone and the camera, it's really crazy, which you can if you watch, like, if you follow me on TikTok and Instagram and you watch my like short form videos, you can see the difference in like how my skin looks. I mean, I don't mind having texture and showing texture. We are human, we are women, we have pores. And I have pretty good skin, so I can't complain. But I turned off the smoothing, and like, I could see some of my texture if I get really close, but not really. So really, it does make a difference upgrading the camera, because I just find the iPhones to just be like mad crazy disrespectful. Like, I look like shit on any iPhone photo I've ever taken in my entire life. I swear to God. Like, I am so happy I bought that Canon camera, because any event, any birthday, anything, I know I can get a good photo because I'm taking it with a real camera. Like, anytime I take like an iPhone photo, I just look like Fiona from Shrek all of a sudden. And I love Fiona from Shrek, but I turn into like an ogre, like literally. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then I'm like, is that what I look like? And my girlfriend's like, no, you really don't look like that. It's crazy. Because I get good pictures of everybody, but nobody gets good pictures of me. This is like tale as old as time. And me and Amanda fight about this all the time, because I'm like, you don't try, you don't put in the effort, you don't take your time the way I do when I'm getting photos of you and my friends and of everyone else. But I digress. So I am so excited that my family has supported my Delulu dreams, and hopefully these Delulu dreams make me able to like pay them back, take them on a PJ, take them on a trip, do something with them. I would like literally love to treat my family to something like that for once in my fucking life. So we're putting it out there and we're manifesting. And speaking of delusional dreams, I'm going to tell you guys what happened this weekend, because it just solidified why I'm delusional. Semi-delusional. Sometimes I let those realistic thoughts get into my head, and it's so fucking annoying. But I went out to dinner to this place in Williamsburg, and I had a really cool celebrity sighting, which I honestly don't, I either don't pay attention, but I don't know, I just haven't seen that many celebrities. And if you're not familiar with Williamsburg, Brooklyn, a lot of celebrities actually do live here. Williamsburg is like Soho now, unfortunately, but this was a really cool celebrity sighting. I saw William H. Macy. He came to the restaurant I was in, and the restaurant's kind of small, so he was sitting just like catty-cornered to me, and it was so cool. And if you don't know who William H. Macy is, then you need to grow up. So he was Frank and Shameless, iconic character. And I mean, he's been in so many other things. So I text my dad, because I knew my dad would appreciate this celebrity sighting. And I'm like, oh my God, Dad, William H. Macy is in the restaurant I'm at. This is so cool. And I'm recording on my phone right now. Otherwise, I would pull up the exact text. Maybe I can pop him in or something. But he's like, wow, that's so cool. Ask him to be on your podcast. And I was like, what? And he's like, ask him to be on your podcast. And I'm like, Dad, please. Like, first of all, like, what are you talking about? And he's like, what do you have to lose? Slip him your number on a napkin and give it to him. So the moment to do that was kind of when he first got there, because he was with like 2 people. And I thought that was it. So while I'm like texting back and forth with my dad, which anytime I have seen somebody like famous, I just feel weird approaching them. Like, it's just not something, I don't know. They're like living their regular life. They're having dinner. They're enjoying their time. They're a little unassuming maybe, where people aren't noticing. So I just felt like weird doing that. And as we're texting, like more people come. So by the time I was leaving, he was with like 8 people or something. And the whole time my dad is like texting me. Like, I think there was a point where I stopped answering, and he sends me a clip from my episode, the one where she turns 34, of me saying, you have to go after what you want and you have to ask for what you want, and people aren't mind readers. And like, he's like, what do you have to lose? Like, he's gonna say no, like, who cares? I didn't do it because I was being a little pussy, but this just goes to show you like where I get it from. Now, my dad might be even more delulu than me, because he said that I should, just slip him my number and ask him to be on my little podcast that has 40 subscribers. But I didn't do it. I pussed out. I was scared. I wish I did, actually, because he's probably a really nice guy, or at least got a picture, but I just felt so weird. And he was sitting in like this like rounded table. It was like a really big booth, but it went like this. And like, he was like dead, like in the nook. Like, he had people on both sides. It wasn't like he was on the end. And then by the time like I would have said anything, like, he just was fully eating with his friends, having conversation, and I just felt weird. So William H. Macy, if you ever see this, I'd love to have you on my podcast. Maybe if I see you again. If I see you in the neighborhood again, I think that'll be a sign that I should say something. So shout out to my dad for being completely insane in the best way possible. And like mirroring my own advice back to me, because like, he wasn't wrong. You got to practice what you preach. I mean, the part he sent me was about not being a mind reader, and you have to tell people what you want. And I really meant that more in the way of, the people in your life. But I guess I watched enough Shameless that I could consider him in my life. So I don't know, but that was cool. I had a great birthday dinner at an Israeli restaurant. The food was fucking delicious. The service was 10 out of 10, and it was super cute, intimate, low-key, and I'm glad it's over. So yes, now we are here. We're in the stew, and I think I might want to start changing my setup a little bit. I think I might try filming in a different part of my apartment. I don't know, like, the bathroom's cute and it's like all the vibes that I wanted, but I'm not always happy with the lighting in here because I have no windows. So we'll see. Maybe I'll switch it up here and there, like in different parts of my apartment, because the girls' room is wherever I'm at. So the girls' room's here, the girls' room's at your house, the girls' room's at a restaurant, the girls' room is at the club, the girls' room is where I say it is. So we will see. And this has kind of been heavy on my mind. I haven't watched it yet, but I don't know if you guys heard about the documentary. I'm not remembering the name. It's about the Nickelodeon, like, that piece of shit guy. I'm not even saying his fucking name on this or giving him any more platform than he already has. But I can't remember the name of the documentary. I'll put it here in case you haven't heard of it. Something Sit? I can't remember what it's called. But it's basically about, Drake Bell, I think, is in it. I think I'm gonna watch it and just see what it's about. But it's about these child stars on Nickelodeon, like the shows that I grew up watching, like All That and many other shows, where these kids that were my age or around my age brought so much joy into my life and the life of other people. I mean, this concept for this podcast quite literally came from the Amanda Show. And I've been thinking about Amanda Bynes so much because she was a part of this, and I don't think she's in the documentary, but the sexual abuse and all of the innuendos of inappropriate things with children and the actual act of things happening is so fucking disgusting. And it's so sad that these kids gave up their childhood to make our childhoods better. Like, they didn't have a childhood. And when you're a kid, like, I used to watch these shows and be like, it would be so cool. It was like, especially like All That and the Amanda Show, and like that was like SNL for kids. Like, these kids were so funny, so talented. And I'm sure you know who Tefi Pessoa is. If you don't, she is someone who blew up on TikTok, and now she's like in media. She's like a commentator. She's honestly incredible. I met her once. She was so sweet, but she put a video out about this documentary, and the way she spoke about it was so spot on. She's just so good with her words. And, you know, she said there was a time where Amanda Bynes could have been like Meryl Streep. And like, I agree with her on that. Amanda Bynes was incredible, and now she's essentially, you know, in a Britney Spears sort of situation. I think she's under conservatorship. She's definitely gone. She seems like she's gone mentally. I think she has come out and said things in the past, and she was like not taken seriously. And, you know, it's very clear that something happened to her. Same with Britney Spears. Like, you don't just become this ill. Like, it doesn't just happen. And Tefi said something that really resonated, because Amanda Bynes has physically done a lot in changing her appearance and the way that she looked. She was always like a beautiful girl, and Tefi said maybe she doesn't want the male gaze. And I think that that could be very true. She's so traumatized from what was done to her that she doesn't want men to even look at her. And, you know, they were all like completely robbed of a childhood to make our childhoods better, like I said. And that is absolutely devastating. It's terrible what goes on in like this industry. And I used to not understand why parents wouldn't want their kid to like do things like this. Like, you'd hear like, if you knew someone and they really were into it, and their parents would be like, no, you're too young. You're too young. And I totally get it now. If I had a kid that wanted to be like a Disney star, I think it would be like a hard no, unless I was involved in every single aspect of everything, which I have to watch this to see, because I heard things like that Drake Bell's father was like pushed out and not able to, and he knew something was up. And I have to watch it to really get better insight here. But I can imagine that it's hard to be involved in every aspect, because you're dealing with managers, agents, networks, producers, directors. Like, there's just so little control that people have in the entertainment industry. And yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it and see what I think, but that just completely broke my heart. So I feel that if you are someone who hurts children in any way, shape, or form, you should be tortured. Like, death is too easy. I think you should be fucking tortured. So fuck those men, and fuck that, and stop giving them a platform to speak on and apologize, because there is no apology for abusing children, period. Never mind also abusing them sexually. So anyway, to my next topic of conversation, my therapist said something very interesting to me that made a lot of sense, and I thought could resonate with other people. I talk a lot about timelines and feeling like a late bloomer, and like things just kind of happen for me later on in life. And, you know, as much as I say that things happen in their own time, everybody has their own way, progress isn't linear, all of these things that we hear people tell us, it still sucks, quite frankly. Like, it still sucks when you feel like you're not where you want to be. And like I said, on birthdays, I reflect back a lot on where I've been, where I'm going, and my journey thus far. And, you know, she asked me where I kind of consume my information from. Do I read? Do I watch YouTubes? Do I watch TikToks? And I said, I watch TikToks because they're pretty digestible. And, you know, when I'm learning about social media management and tips and tricks and things for my business from established people in my industry and niche, I watch TikToks and I consume my information that way. And she said that there is a correlation, that there's, I think she's there a little bit of, I think she said that there has been studies that there's a correlation between how you consume your information and how fast you think you should get to where you want to go. I don't know if that's making sense, but basically what it means is, let's say if you're reading a book, like if you're reading a book on how to do anything with your career or whatever, you're digesting this information like so much slower because it's in a book. So you're taking your time, you're reading it, you're going through it at a slower pace. It might take you, depending on the book, a week or two, a month, whatever, to get through this book. And your brain correlates the timeline of you reaching your goal slower because you're receiving the information in a slower way. And then if you're doing something like consuming it through 30-second TikToks or 2-minute, 3-minute, 5-minute, even 10-minute TikToks, you think that you should be moving at that pace. Does that make sense? So it made a lot of sense to me because sometimes when I'm watching, you know, these TikToks, it's almost like rapid fire information coming at you, and people make it sound so like digestible and like attainable in like this quick manner. Like, here's 5 ways to be a social media manager, or here are 5 things you should do to be a social media manager. It's like boom, 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 boom. And you're like, okay, I just have to implement that, and then I'm gonna like know exactly what I'm doing and I'm gonna be great. And then like you're doing it and you're like, well, what the hell? Like, even when I started doing UGC, which I've spoken about before, which is just content creation for brands, that's what I started with before the social media management aspect of things. And I did this course, and I did the course. I mean, the course doesn't have to be done in like the course of a day. I just did it that way. And I'm like, okay, I just need to make a portfolio and make some example videos and get a professional email and a website domain. And once I have that together, that's it. The deals will be rolling in. Get on Twitter, apply to things, DM brands, and that's it. You're going to be making $10,000 a month right away, because I was digesting her TikToks and all of her information that way. And in reality, some people do get there that quick. Like, it's just rare, you know? So she had like a crazy trajectory of her career, but she also was kind of like one of the first to really talk about it, make a course, do all of those things. So it makes sense because the demand was higher. She was filling a hole that wasn't filled. There was nobody talking about this. So when I did it, I'm like, boom, 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 banged it out. Now listen, you get good at content creation by making content. So my first videos, like, I thought they were so fucking good because I'm kind of good at making content. They were fucking terrible. And now when I look back my videos now to my videos then, I'm like, oh my God, like leaps and bounds, so much better. But you know, that was never my trajectory where it was like so fast. You know, first you get gifted opportunities and you practice by talking to brands and learning how to talk to them and taking these gifts from them, and you're not paid. And then, you know, you kind of just, you get in a rhythm, then you start learning like platforms to use and all of that. But in the beginning, I just was like thinking, oh my God, I'm going to make like $5,000 my first month doing this, or $10,000 in my first few months. Like, that still hasn't happened. And who knows when it'll happen, because now I'm fucking stretched in 10 different directions because I decided to do this podcast. But I love how like diverse now my income is. It needs to be more, but like, I love that I'm not doing the same thing every day and I'm not a fucking robot. But anyway, it's just to say that how you consume your information can directly affect how fast you think you should get to the finish line or to the goal or whatever. And I thought that was relatable for sure, for me especially. And I thought it could be helpful to you to think that in a world where it seems like everybody just has everything at their fingertips and they just get it right away, they don't. And the overnight success it happens. It definitely happens, but I do think that it can be detrimental for some people. Like I think I saw a clip of, I think it was like Charli D'Amelio, which I really don't know much about the D'Amelios, but I've seen a lot of commentary about them. Apparently they blew up during like the height of COVID when everybody was like posting 1,000 TikToks a day, and TikTok really like started creating these overnight celebrities. Like if you started your TikTok journey in 2020 and you were any good or any entertainment, because back then you could just be like dancing, you blew the fuck up like that during that time period. And her and her sister were doing like the TikTok dances, which you guys probably know this. I really did not know this about her. Like I just always knew the name, but I had no idea the story. And she did an interview with Jay Shetty that I didn't listen to, but I just saw clips on Instagram where, you know, she said the height of her success, where she was at like some crazy amount of followers and getting brand deals left and right, was like the most depressing time she'd ever been. And it makes so much sense because you just get, it's like here, the world is just like, here, you want this, you want this, you want this brand deal, this ad, this, and like her brand got really lost. And this is something that a lot of social media managers also talk about, that her brand and like what they did with her was like, it's still like a struggle apparently, because they didn't keep to a brand. They just said like yes to everything, and she got lost in that. And then there was a bunch of like, I think, things that were put out that just weren't representative of who she was or her content, and then it all kind of got lost. And you know, there's so many stories of like influencers and people who just blew up and then their mental health like greatly suffered. And you know, if you don't put things into practice before you hit the point of success, how can you manage that success? And maybe that's just what I tell myself since I'm still fucking going and still trying. But I can't say that if I all of a sudden blew up, I would know exactly what to do. You know, I think the amount of practice I've had has been really great. But, you know, the hate comments, like with all of that fame and good and fortune and love comes like a ton of hate, which shout out to like all of these influencers and celebrities that like, they just take it on a different fucking level. And I know a lot of them don't even read it or pay mind to it, or they limit their comments. But at some level it does get to you, of course. And yeah, I just think that it is incredibly strong for people to be able to put themselves out there and with all the love, take all of the backlash. And it's just incredible. I guess you just have to focus on the love, but we're humans and we tend to focus in on negative. Like if you said one negative thing to me, I will remember it for my entire fucking life. And not in like a grudgy way, but like it'll be like in the back of my head. Like I'll just like fester with it and be like, well, why did they say that about me? So, you know, I know that this podcast is going somewhere, so I just got to brace myself and I got to stay in alignment with my dreams and my goals. So yeah, we need to keep manifesting on this in the girls' room, because I really think it would be so cool to do this in other people's bathrooms. Like, I'm just like, I want to interview Ariana from Vanderpump, and I really want to interview her dog, Maya. Like, I really want to meet Maya, I think, more than I want to meet Ariana. Oh, and speaking of Ariana, I don't know if I told you guys, but I did go to see her in Chicago. I think her run is done this week. She was fucking phenomenal. And apparently she had, well, I saw it. It was during my like show. She had like a cough attack, but the scene that she had the cough attack in, like, she played it off so well because the dancers that were behind her were all smoking cigarettes. So like the timing was like low-key kind of perfect. So if you're watching this, girl, I didn't know if it was real or not. I was like looking at my girlfriend like, was that part of the show? Like, I couldn't tell because she was saying her lines and then like having a cough attack. So but she did an amazing job of that. She was so incredible on Dancing with the Stars. I had no doubt in my mind that she was going to absolutely be incredible. So shout out to her. But yeah, I just think it would be like the sickest thing ever to be able to do this as a job. But I don't have expectations from it. I never have had a real passion project in my life, and this is my passion project. And it's one day a week that I'm actually taking the time to do something that's 1000% for me. It's creative. It takes time. I have to get ready for it. It's, you know, people say make time for yourself, all of this shit, blah, blah, blah. Go work out, go do this, take the time. Like, working out's great and all, but like, I'm a creative person and I need to be doing something creatively. And I cannot tell you the last time I had a hobby or anything that was not work, hanging out, drinking, eating, partying. Like, that was my hobby, was going out and drinking and partying. It was never like, I never, you know, did anything else. So, and working out to me is not like fun or a hobby. Like, yes, I need to do it because it's good for me and my mind and my body, but like, I fucking hate working out. I always have. So I've been like walking a lot more and doing that type of thing. But this is something for me and me only. And that's really powerful. So if you don't do something for you that's just about you, you really should. Here's your sign. And with this, I really don't have an expectation, but I've gotten such amazing feedback about me doing this. I've just gotten love from like so many different people, like different walks of life, guys, girls, doesn't matter, about my episodes. So although my community is small, like right now, I'm getting like really positive feedback, and it's not, you know, just from people I know, because the people in my life are fucking dead ass all the time. Like, they are honest and they will tell me if I'm sucking or if I'm not doing a good job. And if they didn't want to, they wouldn't go out of their way to tell me the things that they are telling me. So it just keeps giving me signs that I'm like in the right place and I'm doing the right thing. And I've gotten a lot of comments about how happy I look when I do this, and that it's nice to watch because I seem like I'm in my element and I'm really enjoying it. And that's so nice to hear, because I really am doing this for me. And it's fun to involve other people in it. And at a minimum, I'm being creative. I'm taking time for myself. I'm getting ready. I'm practicing editing. I'm doing something that's giving me like genuinely no return monetarily, but it's giving me a great return in so many other ways. Like, I'm just happy when I do it. I'm excited when I do it. I'm excited for feedback. I'm excited to put it out. I'm so excited for the guests that I have like lined up within the next few weeks. I think the beginning of April, I'm doing an interview, and in the end of April, I'm also doing an interview. So sorry, you're stuck with me for the next few episodes. But I'm so excited. Those are going to be fun interviews, and like I said, at a minimum, I'm doing something that I said I would do, that I made a commitment to myself. And that's where you grow confident and you build your confidence when you keep the promises that you have made to yourself. And I said that I was going to show up every single week on video and put this episode out every Sunday at midnight. And I have done that every single week since the end of December. And, showing up for myself and showing myself that I can keep a promise to myself, hold up that commitment, show up, give it my 100% because I have to, because I'm putting it out there and I don't want to look back and be like, I shouldn't have done that. So it really makes me be present and really makes me show up truly and as my best version of me. Or even if I'm not having the greatest day, putting that out there too, and letting people, like, just showing like kind of all the sides of things. And that's not easy to do either. It's not easy to put yourself on the internet and open yourself up for criticism, knowing that you have people that don't like you watching you, people that probably have a voodoo doll of you in their fucking house watching you and making fun of you and doing all the things. Because the opposite end of that is that actually there's so many more people showing me love, but most importantly, I'm showing myself love by doing it. And I think everybody should have a hobby or something that gets them excited and doesn't give anything back other than happiness and joy. And if it brings other things outside of that, it's like a bonus. So I love creating. I love making videos. I love the editing process, which is the part that everybody hates. Everyone's like, oh my God, I hate editing. Like, I talk to a lot of people in my space and they'll be just like, I hate editing. That's the worst part. That's why I haven't started a podcast. And I'm like, but that's like where you show your like voice, because editing styles are so unique to everyone. So how I chop it up, how I, put funny things in, where I place my intro, like all of those things have to do with my editing style and with me. So I really enjoy it because I get to like do it how I want to do it. So I think maybe I should stop saying if, since we are all about manifesting here. When this podcast goes somewhere, I'm sure I will have a podcast editor and producer and all of those things and have less control. But if you know how to do every part of your job, like you should, it's just like people that work in a restaurant. They should know how to do every single job in that restaurant. Or like the owner of the restaurant should know how to do every part, or the manager, whoever is like in power, should know how to do every part of the job in a job like that. Any boss person should like know how to do the things so that if they have to do it, they can. And like, as the CEO of the girls' room, I need to know how to take care of my content, how to make it a vision so that I'm not relying on somebody. Because if I was relying on an editor and then I couldn't pay for that service next month, or they quit and they were using a certain editing style throughout my podcast, now I need to like mimic that. Whereas now I'm the one doing it and I can be like, I want you to actually do it like this, and I want you to watch how I did it. And who knows, I could totally see myself like actually doing the editing when it goes somewhere. Like, I could definitely see that for myself, but I'll probably be too busy. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. It does take time, but now I'm so upgraded. This is game fucking changer. So now I just have to like listen to the episode, edit out the stuff I don't want, add my intro, and there you go. So I am living proof that you can make things come to life. Like, you can. You just got to kind of do it. So that's my little pep talk of the week. I think you should think about how you're consuming things and take it into consideration if you are second guessing your timeline and your path. And I think you should just know that things really do happen in the timing that's meant for you, as long as you are taking aligned action, messy action, my fucking slogans. And if you don't carve out time for yourself where you can, here's your sign to do it. Try, if you can, even if it's 10 minutes a week, to do something that's for yourself. And take advantage when you do have the time, because that's the thing for me right now is I am being blessed with time. I have the time right now to do this. And I'm a little scared that I'm going to get really busy and not have the time to make this podcast anymore. That's an actual fear that I have. So please like, comment, subscribe, share if you don't, because if you like it and I get super busy with my social media management business, I may not be able to do this on a Wednesday afternoon like the way I have been and edit it in the same week. So come on. We need you to hype up the girls' room. Tell your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's get this thing popping, because I don't want to not be able to do it. So I'm not even gonna think about it. We are manifesting that this podcast will be on for years and it will blow the fuck up, and I will not have to be a social media manager because I will just be a brand. And that's my dream in life, is to just be able to be myself and get paid for a fucking living. But who doesn't want to do that? I mean, at least I'm trying to make that happen. I'm actively trying to make that happen. And like, podcast is just like the right form for me. Like, I'm not an actor. I'm not like, a model. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a TikToker. I'm just like really good at having conversations and giving advice and hearing people and growing and learning and taking chances. Those are my superpowers. I think one of my superpowers is that I literally will create chaos in my own life, even if it's uncomfortable, just to get myself to a different place. Like, I will blow up my entire existence just to make sure that I'm not unhappy. It's a common thread with me. I do that, whether it's quitting a job, leaving a relationship, whatever it is. I don't know. I just like cannot be unhappy for long periods of time. And I was unhappy for far too long. So knowing that I know how to make way for my happiness, I'm just going to, somehow make this work for me. So I think that's it for today's episode. I am going to give you my high and low of the week. So my high of the week is my new camera setup, because she is so friggin' cute. She's the prettiest camera I've ever seen in my fucking life. So that's my high of the week. And my low of the week is, well, it's only Wednesday. So last week I didn't really have a low because it was my birthday. I don't think I have a low of the week. Not one that's like grand enough that I could think of. I mean, I really need my fucking nails done, like really bad. This is like embarrassing for me. This is like 3 weeks. Never in my life do I go 3 weeks. So I guess that's my low of the week, is that I've been busy and I haven't had time to get my fucking nails done. But being busy is also like a high. So like, is it really a low? I'm not really sure. So I'm going to just go with that. And yeah. I don't think I have any reality TV talk. Not much of it. So that's it. Oh, and I am watching a new show that is really good. It's called Shogun on FX. I think it's on FX and Hulu. It's like a period piece, takes place like in Japan. It's a lot of subtitles, and I usually don't like period pieces, but I actually love this show. So there's a recommendation for you if you need a show to watch. I tried to watch that Apple Falls Far or something, whatever it's called, show, and I don't know, I kept falling asleep. Maybe I'll give it another try. I don't know. So that's it. As always, please send your topics, concerns, questions, problems you want advice to tgrpod.nyc@gmail.com. I am patiently fucking waiting for your email. and I love giving advice, and I would love to know what's up with you guys. So yeah, let's make this interactive. And I think I'd be able to make this more interactive once I hit 50 subscribers on YouTube. I can go live. So that is definitely something that I want to do, just to try to put myself out there more. And I think I'm at 43 subscribers, so we are almost there. And according to people, my podcast is doing well for a nobody that has no following. Yeah, I've got like maybe 100 subscribers across Spotify and YouTube, and I started at the end of this. It was basically January. So it's only been like 2 months or something, a little more than 2 months, since this would be episode 13. So yeah, 2, 8, 4 and 4 is 8. That's 2 months. I'm like, is that 2 weeks? Anyway, I'm gonna go now. So please send me your stuff, and I will see you next week for another episode of The Girls Room. I love you so much, and thank you for tuning in. Bye.